What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for episode number 3 of My Team Career Mode on F1 2023. If you haven't seen the last episode, make sure you go check that out to see that last lap dive bomb on the 2 Red Bulls. Even at this point, I still don't know how we managed to beat both Red Bulls. The only reason why we won was because they didn't even work together. But still very early doors this season. Still a long way to go if we want to get more wins this year. We're going to have to keep upgrading our car. Speaking of upgrades, those 3 upgrades you saw all went on for our home Grand Prix. I think one of them was a downforce. I think one was engine power related, and another one was durability. I'm not 100% sure exactly what that was. There you go, rear downforce. Oh no, it was weight reduction. I think it was for the chassis department, not durability wise. But anyway, we got 3 upgrades on the car. All very, very nice. ICE. I think at this point we're going to look at some durability upgrades, because the engine wear is a little bit harsher than what I probably thought at first glance. So I think definitely ICE is definitely one we need to do, because that does take a bit of a beating, I have realised. So I think we need to get that upgraded as soon as possible. And at this point, I'm not really concerned about durability at this point, because I always know that the first season for durability is always going to be the harshest. Don't get me wrong, because it's always inevitable in the first season. With durability always wears a lot faster, but the more we keep upgrading, and the more we keep upgrading the driver perks to minimize the engine wear, it'll actually become even better than what it will be later down the road. So as you see there, we have slowly crept forward to Aston Martin, Mercedes and Ferrari. Red Bull are still miles ahead in the performance index. Yet I don't know why we won that race in Jeddah. Other because they didn't work together, and Red Bull didn't even put team orders in. And the way we were able to stay with Checo was somewhat extraordinary. I'm not going to lie. So 2015 resource points to spend. We're going to invest those resource points into Baku, because I want to target some engine power, maybe energy recovery system upgrades, or tyre wear. Actually, tyre wear is actually a better upgrade if you think about it, because from what I've been told, the rear tyres really take a beating. Or do we not do tyre wear? Drag reduction? Honestly, anything, engine power, tyre wear, or drag reduction related would honestly be helpful for Baku. Honestly, if we had like 4,000 resource points, we could have done a crap load of upgrades. I'm not even joking, because Baku is a bit of a drag reduction circuit, more power circuit, and definitely a circuit where ERS is very, very important. I'm not gonna lie. So qualifying time now, wet weather, and we're on the full wet tyres. Now you know me with wet weather qualifying sessions. I tend to put the fuel load as high as possible, because the more fuel we have, the more laps we can do. We do have enough battery for 2 push laps, but out comes Yuki Tsunoda out of the pit lane. Does he get out of the way cleanly and quickly enough? No, he does not, and that ruins our second run. But it doesn't matter, we've still got time. So what we'll do, we'll charge the battery, save a bit of fuel, and we will go for 2 push laps, apart from Nick de Vries, who almost takes out Fernando Alonso, only because he doesn't want to pass me. And there is him blocking Gasly, who has a moment. Oh my goodness me, Nick de Vries, what are you doing there, pal? And there's us trying to avoid Gasly. This is from how we saw it. And he's trying to go to the inside to let us through, but seriously, what DeVries did, that deserves a race ban. Seriously, that's seriously race ban material. So we've got enough fuel and we've got enough battery for 2 push laps. So that lap 1 minute 32.8, around about a second and a half faster than what we did at our very first lap. So we're going to push on again, and the more that we keep doing the laps, the better the track conditions will get, and the more time that we'll find, because when we do that, and particularly when we do get close to inters, for Q2, I don't think anyone will be going out this late. It'll be very close to intermediate times, so when we do reach that crossover, we will be finding a bit more time with the inters, not so the wets, because there is a certain crossover for when to use the wets and the inters.
I'd take a set of intermediates in these unpredictable conditions.
Right on cue there. So Mark reckons it is time for inters, but as you can see, Verstappen P6 out on the track at the moment. I'm not so sure if he's on a time lap or whatever, but he is out on wet. A few others have also gone out on wet. So we're going to go out again. I think I left this pretty late. So we're going to go right at the end of the session. But as we are starting our lap, everyone, as you can see on the minimap, is coming back into the pit. Now I haven't noticed at this point. I'm pushing on to see what we could do. We've already found a 10 as we go through turn 1 and 2 on the run to turn 3. Now at this point I have found out that no one was going around again, so I decided at this point to back off, and I think there potentially was on a new set of wets. So right now there'll be an outlap set of wet tyres, sorry, but they weren't needed because we are now on a set of intermediate tyres. So again, I think we've kept the fuel load about the same, maybe about 1 lap less this time, but we're definitely going to be using a hell of a lot more battery with the inters on, because we are going that much faster. Well, not too much faster, but we are going faster the deeper we go into this session. So at 28.7, I think that was. So that's like 2 seconds faster, almost, from our lap in Q1. And as you can see, the track is starting to clear up a little bit. But as you can see there, it is still raining. So I'm not totally certain of what the go is there. Everyone has gone out. What are they on? I'd really love to know. But what's the gap to the safe zone? About 8/10. I think that's good enough. Sorry? How the hell has that happened? Has the track really ramped up that much? Charles Leclerc has done a 24, so the top 4-5 have done 24s and 25s. And whereas us, we've stayed in the garage, we've been knocked out by Verstappen, but Verstappen's out as well, Webber's out. Hey, have they really improved that much? I don't think Webber improved that much. I am a bit gobsmacked. I'm not gonna lie. How the hell did they find that time?
Well, once upon a time, this used to be the season opener before it fell victim to a pandemic reshuffling. But now Albert Park is back at the heart of the F1 calendar, so welcome to sun-kissed Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Ocon, Gasly, Stroll, Joe, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Skip, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Webber, Tsunoda, Albon, De Vries, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
We're still in with a chance of winning this title. We need you to push as hard as you can in the 5 remaining races.
Alright, seriously, what the hell is going on? Mark, our engineer, is already thinking about the championship. We're 3 races into this season, mate. And you're really thinking about the title? Oh, my God. I'll tell you what, if we're within a race worth of points, if that makes sense, of the title, at the Come Abu Dhabi, then maybe yes. But we've got a long way to go. Let's focus on our home Grand Prix, please. 5 red lights, and away we go. Not the greatest of starts this time. It turns out it hasn't been a great start, but it has been a solid start for Webber, who tries to go around the outside of Alonso. We've been swamped. We've gone from 11th or something down to 17th. So it really has not been a great start. To be honest, I think we kind of bottomed down a little bit. We almost rear-ended Piastri and Albon, and I think we've somehow survived. We're going side by side with Piastri, and that's Albon ahead of us. So we avoid contact at the very least. Albon got back ahead, so that's not okay. But there's still a long way to go. But very quickly we were able to catch back up to the pack. Has someone got some damage ahead, or are they just squabbling for position? Very early to be squabbling for positions, and not particularly ideal when you're in intermediate conditions. A bit of a look at Albon and a bit of a touch at 3. We're around the outside of 4, but we let him have the corner because it's still too early to be arguing that hard. So we're going to let him go. But as you can see, we've caught back up pretty quickly. We're right on his gearbox. Should we surprise him with the move into the penultimate turn? We do. We are very careful that we don't rear end Lando Norris. A little bit sideways out of the last turn. Back down towards turn 3 and almost rear ending Norris again for a second time in 3 laps. You may have noticed that we have underfueled the car a little bit. I am anticipating that we're going to save quite a bit of fuel. Look at that, 2x2 ahead. Hulkenberg and Alonso, and Norris and Webber 2x2, and there was another one, another group ahead going 2x2. This 2x2 is still going on ahead of it. Does Hulkenberg get the move done on Alonso, and does Norris get it done on our teammate? No, nothing has been resolved. Webber leaves the door open. Yellow flag. I hope that hasn't interfered with us. And now Norris is coming back at us. That is a Red Bull going very slow. I can't tell who it is, but in the meantime, back to our battle. 3 wide, heading into turn 1. Albon had to look at the inside. We've actually gone pretty deep, but we hold position for the moment. Not ideal. Going 3 wide there, and that Red Bull is Max Verstappen, who is pulling over to the inside and retiring from this race already. Virtual safety car deployed. Good opportunity for us to save a bit of fuel, but very quickly we go back racing again. So a lot of things unraveling already in this race so far, and we're on lap 5 now. Can we please just have a quiet patch of some clean racing? That was definitely not clean. Almost rear-ending our teammates, and we've had to go off the track just to avoid getting rear-ended. Now Norris has a look up there inside and on the run to turn 9 and 10, and he gets that move done with ease. So that mistake has not been ideal. So this has really not been a great start for us at the moment, and now we're going to come back at Mr. Lando Norris up the inside at 11, and we get the move done a little bit sideways again, probably a little bit too eager on the throttle. I have definitely noticed that we have been very eager on the throttle. That's a quick replay of us almost rear-ending. There was a bit of a bigger gap than what I thought, but I thought it was necessary to take the evasive manoeuvres. Now we're on the back of Albon, a couple of laps later, up the inside at 11, and Webber is not able to find a way past Hulkenberg at the moment, which is kind of frustrating because I'd really like him to get a move on. If he doesn't get a move on, then we're going to have to make the pass ourselves and maybe hold Hulkenberg out so Webber can get ahead and into some clear air, or maybe even follow us. But he's a lot closer this time but it doesn't allow to go for the pass. We've come in very hot into 11, and more mistakes are creeping in. So this is definitely not a home Grand Prix we wanted to remember. Now Webber makes a move around the outside into 11. He'll be on the outside for 12. He'll have the inside for 13. But is he able to get this move done? It's got us a lot closer. There's contact between us and Hulkenberg as we try to look for the run. Collision warning with Hulkenberg. We are now up the inside of all three of them, but we've chosen to back out for turn 1. Webber tries to go around the outside. If he gets past Hulkenberg, which he has, we're not going to waste any time in passing Nico. And we're going to lift, and we're going to have the inside for 3. And we're going to hold him up high and maybe give Lando an opportunity to go side by side with him. And I think that's exactly what has happened. But unfortunately, that side-by-side action has not lasted long. Unfortunately, I was hoping for them to go side by side, so I didn't have to worry about that. And if we did make a mistake, I wouldn't have to worry about losing positions. But now we're gonna shap up a move on our teammates into turn number 11. Have we outbroken ourselves again for a second time? But the consequence isn't too severe. But now we're gonna just defend enough from Lando, and we will successfully fend him off once again. So there's still a long way to go in this race, but we are sticking behind Webber for the moment. I think it's best at this point if we just stick behind Webber and do the defending against Lando. And look at that, 60% on the rear. So we're very close to our pit window now, and I think we'll be pitting in the next lap or two for another set of inters. So around about the halfway point is probably about the maximum we can go for these inters. Almost getting ourselves into the wall there. Not ideal, let me tell you. So into the pit lane we go. Everyone will be coming in for a new set of inters. DRS has not been enabled, and the rain is still pouring down. Off go the old inters. On go to a fresh set of inters, and we stay ahead of Lando Norris. Now this is going to be a bit painful for Webber because we came in for an undercut and he's going to lose out to the both of us, so that is definitely not ideal. So now we're in some clean air. We can now set our sights ahead to Guan Yu Zhou, who is nearly 3 seconds in front of us. Yellow flag again. What is going on? We'll find out in a few seconds time on what that's all about. So as we continue our way, we're still conserving fuel at this point, but of course because we're going slower in these inters, it does make a bit of a difference with saving fuel. So Alex Albon is out of the race, and now crucially DRS is now enabled, but as you can see it is still raining. So I don't know why DRS has even been enabled, but in the meantime it'll make our job somewhat easier of getting past Guan Yu Zhou. But he parks the car very nicely. Bit of a late think about going to the inside, but we didn't even make it happen. So we're going to have to hold back and wait for an opportunity to go down the inside at 13. And crucially, we get a double dose of DRS because there's only one detection zone. I think it's before you turn in for 13. So that is very handy for us. So now Norris and Joe will go side by side, and that will allow us to streak ahead and get some fresh air happening. As long as we can keep Lando outside of that 1 second, it'll be good for us. So 4 laps to go. It is still raining at this point. I don't think it is going to get to that point where we're going to see any changes onto dry tyres. I just don't see any reason for that at all.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Okay, not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
So, confirmation from Mark there. We are right on the crossover point. But as you saw there as well, the tyre wear signal has come up as well. That's Charles Leclerc coming in to the pits. I wouldn't be surprised if that's for another set of inters. That is Checo, who has stayed out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a set of mediums on a wet racetrack. So Ferrari have got a bit of a gutsy move here. Sainz has gone to a set of softs. So, and this is Mercedes. 1 lap later, and they're double stacking. That was George ahead of Lewis. I'm assuming it is slicks, or is it another set of inters? No, it's slick tyres. And Alonso and one of the Alpines has responded as well. Everyone is coming in for slicks. Everyone seems to be coming in for slicks. Live pictures with us. This is us now getting a view of what tyres everyone is going on. And it is the red striped soft compound tyres. And here is Lando. Is it Lando or Piastri? No, it's Lando. So everyone who's coming in is going for a gutsy move onto a set of slick tyres. But I don't know why anyone would be going on to slicks at this point, because the track is nowhere near good enough. Oh no! Bottas has had a massive crash. This is going to be a safety car. He has had a massive crash on the run to 13. We'll get a replay of what has happened in just a second. But boy, this is us getting the info that Bottas has crashed. But if you look at the we'll get a replay on what happened. So he's behind Checo. He's going for a move and he's just lost it at the crucial moment. He has lost control of the car. Was he even flicking that hard? I don't know. But, unfortunately, no safety car was deployed. Look at that, 72% on the left rear. If we choose to stay out, we are risking a puncture. And Webber hasn't responded, and Lando is just coming out of turn 10. So do we risk it, or do risk getting a puncture, or do we come into the pits? We are coming into the pits, and I think this is probably the best thing to do. Because honestly, I don't want to risk getting a puncture. If we do get a puncture, we don't score points. So I think by coming into the pits, we save ourselves getting a puncture, and we will finish the race at least. Where we come out, I don't really know, but out onto the racetrack we go. Here comes, who's this? Is this Lando? It's Lando, and we are on stone cold tyres. His tyres, I don't know how much temperature his tyres have got, but we are out ahead at the moment. Webber is sticking out at the moment. I think he should stay out for the rest of this race, but I don't know why anyone is coming to the pits. Lando had DRS on us. There's nothing that we could do about it, and that is just unfortunate. And Webber is into the pits. This is on the last lap. Webber is coming for a set of softs on the last lap. Now bear in mind, we weren't catching him by much, so if he chose to stay out, he would have scored points. So I think he might have mucked up there. But boy, I was thinking, why did Ferrari pit? Well, the gamble has paid off. Leclerc wins in Australia for a second successive year running. Phenomenal job from Ferrari. They are very much in this hunt for the championship at the moment, and this is us crawling across the finish line because we have run out of gas on the last lap. So underfueling the car has cost us some points, but regardless of what happened, if we chose to stay out and risk getting a puncture, that would have been all over Red Rover for us. But because the track dried up so quickly, means that we were using more fuel.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Quite simply, a driver is nothing without the team behind them. So, a deserved winner, but we do have to give a shout out to the team in the pit lane and back at the factory. Very much a collaborative process.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Ripper job there from Ferrari. On top, down under. And a phenomenal job by Leclerc. 2 years in a row he has won at the Australian Grand Prix. Now, just back to us. If we chose to stay out, we would have risked getting a puncher, but maybe we could have stayed ahead of Norris, if that's the case. So we're about 7th or 8th, so we'd have definitely lost out to Ocon and Alonso. That's almost a guarantee. Stroll maybe would have been a bit of a question mark, because I'm looking at the gaps to each driver. Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about it this long and hard. I was thinking, why is everyone coming into the pits? Because the track was, I mean, look at it again. The track was definitely nowhere near slick tyre conditions. Seriously, so I don't know why people chose to pit, but they were definitely faster. And Leclerc was going faster in the first lap or two when he came out of the pits. So that's definitely one thing. But then us staying out, if we did get a puncher, we wouldn't have scored points. If we came in and if we stayed ahead of Lando, we would have scored points. But you know, it's one of those things where you don't know what can happen. Was slicks the better option, or was staying out and risk getting a flat the best way to go? So it's one of those question marks that you've got in your head. And I was thinking about this for such a long time, and I really wanted to say, I really wanted track position. The best that we could have done if we stayed out would have been 9th if Stroll didn't get to us. The worst we would have had was no points and potentially a DNF. So, and because it was our home Grand Prix, I think the pressure kind of got to me in the end, because I really wanted those points, because any points finish that we can get in the sort of a midfield car would be pretty much vital for us. So it really is kind of one of those question marks. You know, did we make the right call coming in for slicks, or could staying out have been the better call? Look, we'll never know. We chose to come into the pits, but if you think about this realistically, and if you look at the gaps at the end of the race, where would we have finished if we chose to stay out and if we didn't lose a tyre? Yeah, so... But look, I mean, what happened has happened. There's nothing that we can do about it. The result stands. We finished the race in 11th. We didn't score points, and that's just the way it goes for us, unfortunately. But there's still a long way to go. There is still a long way to go. Anything could still happen. We will only find out the further we get into the season, the further down the road we get. But you know, there's still early doors. There's still time to do some things, to make changes to our car, to the setups. There's a lot of things that we can still do to make this car very, very fast and maybe get a few more wins this year. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to see plenty more F1 and racing game content. And until the next one, I'll see you guys next time.